Hello, hello, hello. It's been a
It,
while. It's been about a month, hasn't it?
it feels like it. I think it's only been a couple weeks, but but it feels like a month ago that we did our last ones for sure. Uh,
Are you in New York City?
that's what it looks like. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm actually in Buffalo, New York. I just uh,
Buffalo.
I just got here today. I was in New York City last night, so um, doing a little traveling for work. I do that from time to time. Usually, I do this podcast from my office, but now it's a makeshift office. I'm inside my hotel room. I know it looks like I'm the skyline of New York's behind me, but that's just the magic of the movies, baby.
Everywhere can be an office
Jo- jo-
nowadays.
Josh isn't in outer space either, so
I know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm in outer space. I feel like I'm in outer space today. Speaking of outer space, what do you say we spin that wheel?
let's find out what we got. Pineapple Express.
It's a good one. Speaking of outer space, am I right?
Yeah, it my hotel, the whole floor, I'm on the fourth floor, smells like it came from this movie right now, to be
Oh,
honest with
yeah.
you. Yeah.
You need to go
I
down to one
got
of
it.
them rooms.
I walked into the elevator, guy got off of it. I just came from having dinner and he smelled like he just smoking a big fat bowl. Whole elevator stunk. I got off the elevator. This whole floor smells
Some
like
like
it.
Willie Nelson's
So
braids.
yeah, pretty much. So
Hell yeah. I heard
uh
that.
why don't we watch this thing and come back and talk about it? That's
Let's
what we're
do
here
it.
for, right?
That's what we're here for. That's what they're here for.
Yo, it's Josh and T-Cat. Best believe that. Reeling in the truth. Stacking on the film stack. Popcorn popping. Critics keep talking. On this podcast, ain't no time for stalking. Real fine by me, we keeping it free. Josh and T-Cat, the hosts you wanna see. Movie reviews, jokes that ain't new. Keep it locked in, cause we know what to do. Lights, camera, action, movie main attraction. Critics we ain't, but we got that passion. Breaking down the scenes, funny like memes. Josh and T-Cat, man, living the dream.
All right.
We're back.
So Pineapple Express. It was let's see. I left my notes at home, so I'm sorry to the viewers. Um
You mean you
run
watched that movie? You did this. You started out in New York, went home,
Yeah.
watched this movie, left your notes at home, and then went back to New York. That's
Yeah.
crazy,
It's
dude.
crazy.
That's crazy. This guy's got a
Between all
Sony
that
teleporter.
between all that, it took me a little bit here.
Movie
So
magic.
looks like $27 million to make this film. It grossed it grossed worldwide 101 in theaters. So this was a
I would have
massive
thought
flop for the
it.
movie.
Yeah, I would have thought it would have cost more to make that movie than just $27 million.
It does
But
say estimated. So
oh well, yeah,
uh,
that's true.
runtime an hour and 51 minutes, unless you got the extended uncut version, which was an hour and 57 minutes.
That was a big
Uh,
thing they really got us all on back in the day.
Back in the early 2000s, for sure, they were like, come see the director's cut uncensored version or whatever they titled it as, right? And it's really like 3 minutes added onto the movie of stuff
It
that
may have
didn't
been
matter.
like the director talking for a couple minutes
Yeah.
at the
Uh,
end.
in this particular movie, it's like Seth Rogen smoking another joint. That's basically it. Yeah.
You know,
So,
the cross joint is a really popular thing now. Like you can actually buy those. Like,
well,
you can go online and buy a cross joint from a dispensary.
well, Josh, I don't know if you know this or not, but I have never partaked.
I know it's a bummer,
42.
dude.
Have never smoked any marijuana in my whole entire life.
You ready to edible or anything?
Nothing. No.
So no marijuana at all ever.
No illegal drugs.
Nothing.
Unless you count drinking alcohol before I was 21 as an illegal substance.
Oh, that's breaking the law, dude.
And I
Breaking
really
the
didn't do
law.
much of that, to be honest with you. So maybe a little
He's a
bit,
good
but not a whole
boy.
lot. Pretty much.
Hanging out with a ragtag bunch now.
I thought I was when I was in high school, I thought I was straight edge, man. I was like into like really hardcore Christian rock and straight
Like
edge, you know?
POD.
Yeah,
Listen to some Jars of Clay.
I actually loved POD. Seen them before anybody knew who they were in Evansville, Indiana, in a basement of a church.
That's
We were in there
fantastic.
moshing to POD, and Katy Perry was there
Really?
before anybody knew who she was. She
That's
was a backup singer.
fantastic.
She was dating the lead singer of that band, and she was just there hanging out before anybody
That's
knew who
pretty
she
sick.
was. Yeah.
That's pretty sick, dude. Well,
All
I'll tell
right.
you what. Well, that leads us to our first ad read of the day,
Yeah.
and that is before we get started with Pineapple Express. I've got to give a huge shout out to our affiliate, Dubby Energy Drinks.
Dubby
Now you
Energy.
know how Pineapple Express is all about high energy, fast paced action and laughs, right? Well, you need the right fuel to keep up, and that's where Dubby comes in, or it might not. With flavors like Dragonade, Dubby Punch, and Tropical Blast, Dubby has all the energy you need without the crash, just like the smooth flow of Pineapple Express itself. Whether you're looking to power through the day or keep that energy going for movie nights with friends, Dubby's got you covered. Head on over to w.gg and use code FINE by me for 10% off your order. It's the perfect drink to keep you energized through the every twist and turn, just like our friends Dale and Saul. Now, let's dive into the plot and the themes of this here movie, Pineapple Express, and see what the film has more to offer than maybe just a stoner comedy, you know?
It's definitely that. It's definitely a stoner comedy.
Oh, dude, it's
Uh,
great. I love this movie.
by the way, fine by me, all one word.
All one
Make it
word, caps, I guess. I don't know.
lowercase. It don't matter. Just
I
put
think
it
you
in
could
there.
probably put a space in there. They probably wouldn't even care. They just want you to order the W. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm down to the very end of my tub that I ordered right when we started. Um, they've got some interesting flavors. I'm hesitant to buy, but Grandpa's Venture Water seems very intriguing as a flavor profile. I don't know what it is, but that seems
We
that is
got
one of
to
the flavors you can get.
witness we got to witness Nick use W in a non-conventional way last night. So if you haven't already watched the episode of Fine by Me this last week, I guess when this comes
Yeah,
out, then maybe check it out.
yeah, for sure. I'll
For
be.
sure.
I'm gonna go as soon as we get done. I'm gonna go watch that so that I could
Yeah,
see
dude,
it.
check it
So
out. It's action packed, much like Pineapple Express.
for sure.
So Dale Denton is a process server, which I
Yeah,
guess
that's Seth Rogen's character, correct?
is Seth Rogen's character. So he serves like if you have like a lawsuit or divorce papers,
Have
etc.
you ever been served like that?
No,
Because I don't
not
think
like
they
that.
do. I don't think real life it happens like that. Do
I don't think
you?
so.
I
No.
think just the sheriff shows up and like at your house and
Yeah,
knocks on your door.
I know like in the like our area where we're at, pretty much in the South, and I would say most of your smaller towns, it would be up to like local law enforcement might handle
Yeah,
something like this. But a big city like this, which is in Los Angeles, they probably contract this out to companies that maybe that Seth Rogen's character works for.
and I've
Probably
seen that.
doesn't probably doesn't serve like warrants, obviously, and stuff like that. But like less violent things, or maybe like civil things.
Divorce papers, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
divorce papers if you had a hit and run and somebody's trying to sue you, or property damage, etc. I would say.
Yeah, you see these movies and like this one here where they're doing all these stealthy things to find these people out, and they make it look like they're dressing up and acting like they're delivering pizzas to
Yes, he's
serve
like
people
in
and things like that.
disguises. Yeah, dresses up in a, hospital scrubs. It's like
I
so he
just
can
wonder
serve a
if
surgeon.
I just wonder if in real life they do that, right? Like I said, I don't think that in our area that they serve papers like that. I think it actually goes
No.
to the sheriff's department. So
Or that, or you just get a letter in the mail, like a certified letter.
yeah,
That you had. I think that's probably like the more common thing is would probably be like that situation would be you would get a certified letter sent to you that you have to sign for or go pick up from the post office to prove that you
yeah.
got it. Like,
The
that would be the
only
same.
the only reason I say the sheriff's office is because I've had to have papers served on people before,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and that's how they did it. So
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Because like where in this situation it would be like his company or whatever. But anyway, so that's what he does. And so where was it? Oh, that whole opening like montage scene where he's doing these different disguises. It reminded me of the 80s Chevy Chase movie Fletch. I don't know if you've ever
Yeah.
seen that or
No,
not, but
I
he's like
have.
in
Yeah.
all he's like undercover like journalist or something, reporter, or TV guy, and he's all get all these disguises so he can get in and get these good stories and stuff. That's kind of like what it reminded me of.
Yeah. That kind of reminded me of the opening of Ace Ventura too, right? Where he's all dressed up. It's
Yes,
not
yeah, kind of the
obviously
same
not
thing.
the slapstick's not as much as that, but and you
Yeah,
got James Franco, Saul
Saul,
in this movie. Um,
Dale Denton's drug dealer.
was this James Franco's like first big movie? I mean, obviously I know that he did a bunch of movies before this.
He's a Spider-Man.
Yeah, I forgot about him being in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So no, this is
Yeah,
definitely not just um
he's in
he's all
several
over the
others.
place as an actor. He does like some small indie stuff and then he does big stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
comedy. Well, I
yeah,
think like Spring Breakers was before this movie come out. That was a wild movie,
yeah.
A24. But yeah, I
Um,
think this was probably his first. This is probably his biggest comedy film, I would say. He has some other ones because he's kind of been blackballed the past few years. But
hot take here. I like his brother,
oh,
Dave,
Dave,
better
yeah,
than
Dave's
him.
funny.
I actually think Dave is funnier than him.
He's
Um,
funny in 21 and 22 Jump Street.
yeah, he was on the forbidden season of Scrubs where they like canceled the show and then brought it back for a season
Oh
for no
yeah,
reason. And
yeah.
he's really funny in that. I think Dave is probably funnier than James. Just man.
They're definitely.
Danny McBride's in this movie.
Yeah, Red.
Oh, Kenny
He's a
Powers.
supplier.
Yeah.
He's the
So
supplier. He's my favorite character in the movie, just because
yeah,
like whenever he shows up at his house, finally after they've spent this. So back to the plot. So Dale needs weed, so he goes and meets up with Saul, which is James Franco's character, and he likes Dale. So he's like, "Hey man, I got this new stuff, and I'm just only going to share it with you. It's an exclusive. It only costs a little bit more, so I'm going to hook you up. I mean, it's called Pineapple Express."
yeah,
So they smoke and hang out. Well, he leaves. Well, he goes to serve a guy that turns out to be the main big boss, the main supplier.
yeah.
Well, while he's out there smoking some Pineapple Express, about to go in there and do his job, he witnesses a murder. So he
Hmm.
freaks out, throws the half-lit joint out the window, and drives off in a haste. So Dale's boss, what is his name? The character. Dale's boss is, or Saul's boss is, what is that guy's name? Anyway, I'll come back to that. But he goes out there and smokes it and realizes it's Pineapple Express, and he's the only person that has it. So he's like, "Hey, I think
That
I got a
Ted
pretty good
Jones
idea."
and
Yeah, Ted Jones. That's right.
yeah, played
Ted
by Gary
Jones.
Cole.
Gary Cole. Yeah. So he freaks out, and Dale has no idea where to go. So he goes back to Saul's. He just has to see somebody. So he realizes that while they're sitting there hanging out, he's like, "Oh man, you're good." He's like, nobody's gonna know. And he's sitting there smoking. Well, he has an epiphany and realizes that he is the only person that has this weed and that he is compromised, that they're going to find out who this is and track him down. So they panic and leave out of there. He throws up in Saul's printer. It's always this big deal about this printer. I don't know what the deal is about his printer in his room. He's like, get this new printer or whatever, like this brand new technology. But he's all worried about that. So finally they get going. Well, they hide out in the woods. The car goes dead because they get high and pass out. So they're like 18 hours pass
Just
out in
doing
this
stoner
car.
stuff.
Yeah, and they go meet up with Red, which is Danny McBride's character, which is the middleman between Ted Jones and Saul.
Right.
So he is under the impression that it's either going to be him that gets killed or he can roll over on Saul and Dale and, they'll take care of them and he'll be, on his way. So here introduces, what is it, Mackie and whatever, his I guess henchman, which would be Danny McBride, and I can't think of the other guy's name. He's in Superbad, the one that his girlfriend gets the period blood on Jonah Hill.
Oh yeah, he Joe Trigo. He was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Is that
Yeah,
the guy you're
yeah.
talking about? Because he's in this
Maybe
movie.
so. Yeah, but so they go over to try they go to Saul's apartment first, realize he's not there. So they're like, well shit, where did he go? So they figure out he'll be at Red's house. So they go over there, and sure as shit, Saul and them had already escaped because they got a heads up that they were coming. So they've taped after this huge fight in Red's house. They destroy this house, like all of them, and then he tapes them to a chair. So Craig Robinson and the other guys show up, and they're trying to get information. Well, Ted just says shoot Red, and they just shoot him, and like they shoot him like in the stomach, so like it doesn't kill him. He just laying there. So the whole movie, he's dying. The whole movie,
Yeah.
Danny McBride's character is on death's door and just keeps on going and keeps on going. So they chase
Danny
after Dale and Saul.
Danny McBride. I either think his characters are great or I don't like them at all. There's no in between for me.
Yeah, he's
Like,
very easy to hate. He's like a scumbag.
well, some of the characters he plays in shows or in movies, it's like this isn't funny, and then some of them are like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's they like. I love Kenny Powers,
Oh
uh,
yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that's like
but
his top notch stuff though.
Vice Principals, I didn't care for that
Oh,
show.
I like it
Uh,
better than Eastbound and Down.
uh, the Foot Fist Way. Have you ever seen
Yeah,
that?
that's a good one. Yeah, that's his
Yeah,
first.
that one's pretty good.
Yeah, Will
Uh,
Ferrell's company bought that movie. They made it him and Jody Hill like on their own and then sold it to
yeah.
Gary Sanchez Productions.
So yeah, uh, but Craig Robinson, uh,
Oh,
I
hilarious.
think he's hilarious every time he shows up in anything.
He's in a
I
lot
think
of
he's good
movies
at,
we've
yeah,
done. Walk
yeah,
Hard, he pops up, you know.
yeah,
He's a great addition to any kind of film, whether it be halfway serious or any comedy. It really doesn't
yeah.
matter.
I really like it. He was great, and um, also in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, in The Office, um, he's he's really good. I drove through Scranton, Pennsylvania today, so The Office
Oh
is on
yeah, I've
my
seen
mind.
that picture. Yeah.
So, um,
So
these.
okay, yeah, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No,
Oh,
you
I was
go.
just going to say, so then they realize that they don't know where they're going to be. Dale and them don't know where to hide out. So they go by and visit Saul's grandmother, his booby, which is in like a nursing home. And like they just, he has to go see her or whatever. Well, they end up leaving there and going and meeting up with Dale's girlfriend, who is a senior in high school.
Right. Yeah. It's a little. It's. I
Senior in
feel
high
like
school.
I feel like they could have went a different direction with that deal instead of bringing in, you know,
I think that's what makes it so like funny because it's so absurd. Like, cause he thinks
it
it's like
is
it's not
absurd.
that like he thinks he's cool. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
he's like, yeah, man, I got this girl.
But it is clear she is everybody at the high school. She's dating and behind
Yeah,
his back. Very
yeah,
clear. They make that very clear right off the bat too.
yeah. And like, yeah, I'm gonna help her out next year. All these guys get next year when we're at college. I'm gonna be looking out for her, man. Don't worry about it. He's like, okay, whatever. He's like 30 years old. So they go to meet. So this whole time, like she's wanting him to have dinner with her and his family, and
Yeah.
her and her family. So he's like, finally, you know what? After 2 days of being in the same clothes and running from everybody, including the police and drug dealers, I'm gonna go over here. And he forgets that they're having dinner, so he shows up in the middle of family dinner, and her dad's already pissed off because he's been having to wait forever. So he shows up looking like shit, smelling like shit, and he's like, "Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Dale." He's like, "Jesus, man, you smell like shit." And he's like, "All right, I didn't realize we were doing this tonight. I guess we're having dinner." So he finally realizes that like he's a crazy person or he's on the run, and the dad's like, "If you don't get out of my house, I'm gonna kill you," and pulls the gun on him. And he tells him to go to a hotel under the name Garagely because they're in a garage. Like, just go under the name Garagely. He's like, "You're an idiot." So they go hide out. They get away from Craig Robinson and them again for like the fourth time,
Yeah.
and skedaddle on up out of there and go on the run again. Is this the part whenever they kind of like split up, like James Franco and Seth Rogen
Yeah.
have like the falling out?
Yes.
And
I
they kind
believe
of like
so.
they like get pissed off at each other and have this big blow up. They're like, you know what, we're not friends anymore. I'm gonna go on my way, you're gonna go your way. Well, it shows James Franco like sitting in this like swing eating a 7-Eleven burrito, just crying, eating this burrito. Like this dude is like his client, his customer, more or less. But he's just so upset because they done been through so much in so little time and just forged this bond. And you can just see it's just got him tore out. And then you can see Seth is upset, Dale, and he gets himself in a pickle with a police lady and gets
Right.
arrested. So Saul comes and saves him, quote unquote, saves him. And this pretty much leads it to the end scene, which would be at the underground lab from the beginning of the movie that Bill Hader gets killed in.
Yeah. That I think the first time I watched this, I was super excited because I was like, I didn't know Bill Hader was in this, and I really thought he was funny. And then
Yeah, he is funny.
gone right out of the beginning, right? So,
Gone. Dead.
you
He
know,
does it.
I think this isn't your typical stoner movie, right? Like How High or Half Baked, where this is like action packed. Most of those movies are
Oh
like,
yeah, dude. This
they're just
movie is
getting into
action
dumb
packed.
stuff. This is like, to me, it's like if you turned a stoner movie into Die Hard at the same time.
Hmm.
Something like that. So I really liked it because they kind of flipped that genre on its head. Um,
This is one of my favorite comedy movies of the 2000s for sure. It's a good one.
yeah, it's up there for sure. I think it is pretty good. I think I don't know if we talked about the guy who directed it, um, David Green.
Yes.
Um, it was written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, which we know they wrote Superbad. Um, this is the end. Obviously, this movie. They've done a bunch of stuff together. Um, I think it's funny that Seth is such a big actor and star, but Evan doesn't want to get in front of the camera, right? But
Right.
they're a great team together when they write movies for sure.
Oh yeah, big time.
Um,
Do you know that the name Pineapple Express refers to a real weather phenomenon that causes heavy rain in the western United States, which was humorously tied into the film's plot involving a rare strain of weed?
that sounds about right. I
Yeah.
wonder if there is a strand of marijuana you can buy now at a dispensary that's called Pineapple Express.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Or
You can probably
I
buy that at
would,
a gas station
yeah,
nowadays
I
for
probably could buy
sure.
it at the gas station down the road here. I don't know what the laws are here in New York, but
They're probably more
they're
lax than they are here.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're pretty liberal. I bet it's just whatever goes. I mean, the way this whole floor of this hotel smells, I think it's probably pretty lax, really.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a probably pretty decent hotel too. So,
Yeah, it's actually really nice. I'm at a Stay Bridge. Um,
oh, cool.
so my room's got a stove and a dishwasher and a uh full size refrigerator and a microwave, couch, a
That's sick.
TV,
You
and a
just move
bed.
in there.
Yeah,
You just move right in.
it's like a little apartment, man. It's pretty
That's
nice.
pretty sick. Well, do you have
Oh,
any reviews,
I do.
positive or a
I had to go back and
negative?
look them up because I left my notes at home. Um, so I got this one here. It says it's a great movie, a modern classic, best watched high.
Mhm.
Perhaps blowing up
Of course.
the the grow ops was a bit expensive, but it pales in comparison to whatever loss of life happens off screen in America every ever evolving drug war chronicles. I am forever grieving the uncredited and poorly compensated stunt doubles and extras who get injured or die on these sets. Who thought it necessary to have five locks on the front door? The uncredited homeless people who may or may not have made it through the next winter.
It's
I
funny.
managed to grow a few Pineapple Express plants this summer.
Mm.
True to their name, they almost got to harvest stage in relatively quick time. The October coda unfortunately ends things, but still relatively hardy plants. I think the pineapple moniker has more to do with the flavor profile And if it had been playing it earlier, that it would have done fine in Zone 5 where I am.
Yeah,
This 5-star review really went to places I didn't think it was going to
I
when I
think they're
started it.
actually. This should have been a review put on Leafly or something for the actual
Yeah,
strain, maybe than with the movie.
he said best watched high. I think he may
Uh,
have wrote this review directly
oh,
after
for
watching the movie.
sure.
So that was a 5-star. Let me pull up this. I want to die. He saw a murder, but nobody is hunting them. They just argue and fight between themselves. So much talking. They're going somewhere and in another 15, 20 minutes talking and then smashing up the place. I'm at 44 minutes and 21 seconds. Just why? They are running and talking. It just gets more and more messed up as it goes. 1 star.
Hmm. It's a
Thanks
hater
for
right
breaking down
there.
the film. I'm gonna be honest with you. Aren't most films just them doing stuff and then like people
Pretty
talking?
much. Pretty much. We got us a Roger and Eberts there.
I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a film. Do you know any films that are just action all the way through, no talking?
John Wick's pretty close.
They still talk in that one
A
though.
little bit. That's true. I guess that's pretty strict to have those kind of rules. Maybe like one of the old kung fu movies with no talking at all. They just
Yeah,
coming through.
like
Watch out.
the silent movies of the 20s.
Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, all action, no talking.
All action, baby. All gas, no brakes.
Well,
You want to
what
go
is
first? You
Josh?
want me to?
Go ahead.
I give it a 3.9 on the Richter
Three
scale.
3.9. So that's I gotta pull up our scale here. I believe that's kind of fine by me. See, I'm all over the place. Feel like I'm lost.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good benchmark for me for a good
Yeah,
funny movie. It's got
mostly fine
everything
by
in it.
me. You're real close to real fine by me. Um,
Real close. What do
yeah,
you give it, bro?
it's like I said. I rate it. I'm gonna rate it high for stoner movies. They're not my thing. I'm not gonna sit and get high and watch this movie, but because it's an action version of those movies, I would do it a little bit higher because that's not something you usually see. I'm at a 3.2, which is also mostly fine by me. It's on the lower end of it. Um, but I think when you put Seth Rogen and James Franco together and the whole crew that basically did Superbad, it's gonna be funny. It's gonna make you laugh at times. So it's definitely worth the times the little less than 2 hours to sit and watch. You're going to be
It's a
entertained
long
for
movie
sure.
for a comedy.
It is that too, but you're going to be entertained for sure. Um,
Yeah, I really like it.
so yeah, 3.2 is where I'm at.
We got a
So
3.2 and a 3.9.
we're always really close
Yeah.
on our thing. I think we both have similar aspects. I know you talked before about wanting to set up a criteria. I go with my gut. Sometimes I change my ratings while we're talking about the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, that's true. Because you think about parts that you like or dislike, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And, also hopefully people that are listening and watching this, maybe the same thing. Maybe it sparks, maybe other movies. I thought about other movies too while I was even talking about this that I would want to
yeah.
watch that are kind of similar. You know
And
what I
we'll put them
mean?
on the list for sure. Yeah, like
Sounds good, man.
so I enjoyed it.
Well,
Um,
we thank y'all for listening. I think that's been about it. You got anything else going on?
Now my traveling's pretty well done. After this week, I'll be back home for a while. Um, I think in August I have to go to Miami for a couple of weeks, and then in November I'm
Oh,
going to be in Houston for a couple of weeks. There might be a one-off or something I got to do between now and then,
yeah.
but I should be home, and maybe we can get this thing on a more regular basis.
That sounds
Um,
good. Well, thank
if
y'all
these
for tuning
watchers,
in.
if these people watching here know of any movies where it's all action, no talking, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, let us
Uh,
know.
and I'll send a message to this guy who made that review and be like, maybe you'll like this one.
Yeah,
Uh,
dude, for
so
sure. All right.
we we appreciate you guys. Thanks.
See y'all.